Skullyhop here. So, I realized after I made the contest video that some people may not have any idea what is in the 1.0 update and how to create a 1.0 level. So this video is going to serve as a bit of a tutorial on how you might want to get started, as well as what you can and cannot do. So as you can see, I am at my 1.0 creator contest level. You can find this on my profile by going into my levels. And I'm going to hit the copy button down here. I'm going to say yes. So here is the level. I'm going to title it 1.0 example. Alright, we're going to enter the level here. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to select the text. As I said in the video, the rules, prizes, deadline, and the objects are all in here for you, but we're going to pretend we read that. Select the text, click delete, and we can then go ahead and get started. What I'm going to do is I'm going to first enter the options menu here for you. So in this menu, there are a couple things that we can click and that we should not be able to click. BG and ground, we're going to keep as is. They're going to stay as the default square background and square ground. This is because the other backgrounds did not get introduced until 1.7. So for this 1.0 creator contest, we're going to stick with these. Speed is going to remain as the normal blue arrow. This is because speed changes were also introduced in 1.7, so we're going to stick with normal speed. Your mode can either be starting as cube or starting as ship. Again, no other game modes, those were not from 1.0. For colors, we are only going to be working with the background and the ground. So you can click these and change them to what you would like. No blending. And no, I don't think you can do player color 1 and player color 2, however that doesn't matter all that much to me. Don't worry about opacity either, so no opacity, no blending. You can change this to any color that we'd like to start the level off with. And same thing with the ground, we're just going to go for pink set here. Other things, song, you can choose any of the normal songs, or you can go with any custom song you would like. It doesn't matter from what library, all is okay there. If you're going to be doing a Nong though, or a Not on New Ground song, please make sure you have a replacement song that syncs to your level. Remember, we're going to be a classic level, platformer is a 2.2 gimmick, and keep the font to be normal. So we're not changing the background. You can change these and the song. Otherwise, leave everything normal as is. Alright, so let's talk about making the level here. I would recommend, with all of these, so this is all the stuff that you can use in your 1.0 level, I'd recommend pushing it down below the ground here. That way you can't see it in the level, but you have it as a reference of stuff that you can grab. So over here we got the coin and the song trigger. I'm not going to use them for the tutorial, but you can use those in your level. That is okay for this contest. So let's start with the first thing here. This is our block palette for 1.0. We got, looks like 9 different blocks here. And you can find these blocks in this spot. So you can do, it's this one, this one, this one, this one, these two, and then these two. Notice this block is not part of the 1.0 palette. That was a block added later in 2.0, I believe, or 1.9, to help complement these blocks, but it is not a 1.0 block. So we're working with these. And then our half block, you can find by going a little bit farther back, and it's been moved back here. It used to have its own separate tab, but it's been moved now. This block in particular is also the old half block, so if you want to you can copy that with the copy button, so you can always have that on hand. So yeah, this is the palette, and we're just going to go ahead and build something with this. I'm going to hop over to these, and let's just go ahead and build a little layout here. Okay, and here we have it. So this is all I'm going to build for right now. And this uses at least one of all of these blocks, so you can kind of see how it would work together. Okay, next blocks are going to be our spikes. So these are the damaging objects in 1.0. We only have 3. The big spike, the like the small spike, and then the ground spike. They can be found here, here, as well as on the next page right here. So I'm going to go ahead and copy and paste a couple of these into our little design here. Alright, just like that, we have our spikes in there. Notice that I can rotate these spikes any way I please. I believe you can also free rotate these spikes for this contest. So if you want to use this rotate button, that is available for use too. Okay, so that is our spikes. Those are our damaging 1.0 blocks. Now we're going to move on to our decorative blocks. So these are going to be non-solid blocks. These are 1.0 decals. We've got these 4 spikes, which from this page you go back a couple and you can find them right here. So all those fake spikes would work. And then on the very front page, just the tall chain. This is the only chain available in 1.0. So keep that in mind while building. I'm going to go ahead and put some of our decals around the map. And just like that, we have our decals in and ready. Again, just a very basic for the tutorial. Alright, next thing, let's just do this with us. These are our 1.0 game modes / gameplay features. These can be found right here. Here's the only pad is yellow, only orb is also yellow. Our 2 gravity portals, not the green one, and then our game mode portals being cube and ship. These are the only game mode features that you can use for this contest. So let's go ahead and add a couple of these to our layout here. Alright, let's go ahead and give this a test play here. Let me move that spike. There we go, and I'm going to actually add more little detail here. Let's put some decoration on that, so it's not a plain structure. Okay, here we have our level so far. Now, let's move on to some of the, first off, I need to do this. So, down here we have our pulsing sticks, is what I like to call them. These are another decal option that can also be used as an indicator. So, when you play in normal mode, I'm going to put a stick down here so you can see it. They'll have this little pulsing circle above them. So we're going to use that to our advantage here. So I'm going to add a couple of these around the map. They come in 3 different sizes, small, medium, and large. So I'm just going to copy and paste a few of these around. Alright, now what we have left are our triggers. So I'm going to bring these up. So we're going to worry about these a little later. Let's talk about these triggers here. So start pause, I'm going to have to enable it here. I think a lot of you know what the start pause already does. Whenever you put it down, your player will start there. That is more of just for test playing purposes. I would recommend that you do not have a start pause when you submit your level. These other things, these are color triggers. So I have, I changed the color trigger to background specifically and ground specifically. But if you put down a normal color trigger, you can press edit object and this blue plus, and then you can change it to these two things. These are the only two color selections that you should be using. The rest were not there in 1.0. So we're going to focus on here. These are already set to blue, so I'm going to go ahead and add them in different spots here. And let's change our ground a little bit before, but I'm going to add a little bit of fade delay to that. So when we play our level here, they'll fade a little bit differently. These two triggers are enable and disable a player trail. So if we were to put enable at the very start of our level here, and then we're going to press save and play, you can see that a little yellow cube follows my icon. So that's what enable does. It enables that trail. Disable will disable that trail. So we're going to put it right above our yellow portal here. And when we play it, you'll see that when we enter the yellow portal, our trail disappears. So that is what the enable and disable does. Lastly, these are block enter triggers. So it changes how the block enters and exits the side of the screen. So this one means that there is no entry for the blocks. So I'm going to real fast. I'm going to make a custom object here so I can keep these on my hotbar. So this makes sure that there is no change to the blocks on either side of the screen. So watch the sides of the screen. You may notice that they just fade right in. So that is the no block state trigger change. Now let me grab this. I'm going to test the green one now. This means that the blocks are going to come in from above. As you can see, they come in and out from above there on either side of the screen. Next one here is going to be coming in from below. So blocks will be entering the screen from both sides from below. As you can see there, they're entering from below. All right, the next one here is they're going to enter from the left side. So if we see that in this preview mode here, they're going to enter and exit from the left side. All right, let's grab the next one. I'm going to find it in here for y'all. I believe it's on the second last page. This one enters from the right side, so they enter and exit from the right side. As you can see, yep, it's doing that, so it's coming in from the right side and then it's going back to the right on the left side. And the last one is this, it's kind of the crazy effect. So it's going to be a little bit of chaos entering and exiting each side. As you can see there. So all of those can just add a little bit of extra stuff to your level. we're going to go with entering from below for this little project. So let's take a look at how it looks. All right. Now normally you'd be building with a song, but for this tutorial I have decided to build without music. And remember, you want your level to be at least 45 seconds in length. So I'd approximate that to be about there, yeah. So about this long in length. Which it won't actually be all that long if you're really enjoying the song. Last thing I'm going to talk about real fast is object count. Had some people wondering about that. As I said in the video, depending on the amount of objects you have and the LDM that you're using will depend on your will change your optimization score. I don't see a reason why people will need to go over 80,000 objects unless you're making an XL. In that case, make sure you have an LDM on the level. And the way that you can add an LDM is you select the object that you want to add on the LDM, click Edit Group, and then we're going to click the Extra button over here on the side. So click Extra, and then we're going to only click High Detail. Do not mess with any of the other options. Those are 2.2 and 2.1 exclusive stuff. but we don't have those chains on high detail. So if we come back out to the level and click this little gear on the side here, we can activate our low detail mode. All right, I hope this was helpful for all of you. If you have any additional questions, I am always open to answer those. Otherwise, happy building. Can't wait to see what you cook up.